Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about some of the best mods I find for the car, and ones that I think personally that most people kind of want to do on their car, not something that I just think, hey, this looks cool. So things that are actually worthwhile, and obviously they're all going to be on the BMW F80 M3. So one of the first mods I would consider doing on the car is lowering it, but not all of it. So I've actually only lowered the front of my car, which you can see here how low it is. About, if you put in a hand kind of horizontal, it kind of gets stuck a wee bit. So I've actually just got lowering springs on the front, and then on the rear I haven't lowered the car at all, because this is kind of the fitment you're getting on here, which is basically the same, maybe slightly more. So the only way to get this even is if I did a coilover setup, or I did the height adjustable springs that you can get from either BMW M Performance, or you can get KW ones, and I think there's a few other brands that do them, but I've not really looked into that at all yet, because I find this setup actually works really nicely, and the springs aren't actually expensive on this car at all. So I can't actually remember what type of springs I have on the car, but I think they're only about £200, and if you're looking in like US dollars, that's going to be like 350, 370. So it's not bad at all for a set of springs on what I would consider a high performance car. And obviously it's hard to tell because I'm filming in the dark right now. Excuse the sort of British winter where it goes dark at like 3 o'clock, but you can kind of see how this car sits, and if you watch my other videos you will see it as well. This car sits quite nicely. I think it could be lower, like I said, but it does sit good for how it is. And main thing to me is it handles well. There's nothing worse than a car that does not handle well when it's lowered, and that's because, you know, you could have it scrubbing at the back end, or at the front you could have it scrubbing as well. You just don't want any of that, especially because I daily the car, so you really do want it to kind of drive well and handle well. On to the next mod for this car, and I would say that is the exhaust. You really want to kind of put a different exhaust on this car just to kind of open up the sound. Most people say from factory these cars sound terrible. I don't think they sound terrible, but you definitely want something a bit louder and a bit of a nicer tone to it. And on this car, if you can notice from the very dirty carbon tips, I have the OEM M Performance exhaust, which is a titanium back box on this, and I think it's a stainless steel midsection. Under here, if you look closely, I know it is very dirty, you can see the M Performance logo on there. And I mean, nobody's going to see it, but it's a subtle flex because it's something from BMW. Now, these exhausts are very expensive. I think in pounds it is about £5,000 or something just to get the back box section. That's without the tips. I believe they're over £400 just for one tip, so it is quite expensive. Second hand, you're probably looking at about £1.5 to kind of get one of these exhausts, which is not terrible for it, because most aftermarket exhausts that you'll get new are about the same price. However, that does mean you can get an aftermarket exhaust for a similar price. So this isn't actually my first BMW F Series car. I had an M4 before, which had a custom exhaust on it, and I think that only cost me about £1,000, but that was kind of mates rates that we did that at, so it's a wee bit cheaper. And that thing sounded incredible. That had I think it was a 4-inch or 3.5-inch single mid pipe all the way from the second cat back, and then we had a small silencer on the back and some valves. Sounded incredible, and it just worked incredible. And personally, when I got this car, I was planning on putting that exhaust on the car because it did sound that good, but once I heard this exhaust, which I'd never actually heard in person before on anyone else's car, I had to stick with it because it just sounded that good. So that is the second mod. It is an exhaust. So let's go on to what I would class as my third mod, being kind of a special one, and that is the steering wheel. So this car actually came with the original M Performance steering wheel, which has the blue stripe up here, and it's all Alcantara around here. However, this car came with a heated steering wheel, which you can see the button there, and the M Performance steering wheel does not have that functionality on it. There's no heating elements in there, so it's not a big deal, but I decided to take that steering wheel out, and I got a original heated steering wheel and sent that off to get that retrimmed, just to kind of, you know, make it look like the M Performance steering wheel, but give me the functionality of the heated part. And obviously, whilst I was at that, I might as well change it to red, like what I've done here, and it just kind of fits the whole vibe of the car. That's something that you always touch in the car, because that's the only way you can actually connect yourself with the car to drive it. It's very important. Get a nice steering wheel in your car. Next up, we're going to go for wheels, because I think that is something that changes everybody's car. It kind of gives it its own personality and makes it match the owner. So I've always loved changing wheels on a car. I do have the sort of OEM, well, not sort of, they are OEM 666M wheels, which are the competition wheels. This car's not a competition, but I did buy those wheels for it. But as you can see, they're not on the car, and I've got these wheels that are custom made. They look kind of similar to the 763M wheels, which are also known as like the CS wheels, because you got them on that car. So obviously, to do that justice, I got them staggered with 20-inch on the back and 19 on the front, which I find is like the perfect sort of size for looks and also driving with this car, because 19 19s on the front just handles so much better than 20s, because it's a really crashy ride with that. You can feel every bump and everything, whereas this, it handles so much better. It's hard to explain, but if you have 20s, try your car on 19s and you'll see. Now, I did do in my last video, actually, I did a quick rundown of like what I think are the perfect specs of wheels for this car, because I get a lot of questions on it, so I thought I would just make a whole dedicated video to that. And you can go on there and see exactly what my specs are, because they're not the same as factory. I don't want to run spacers on this car, so I got them slightly different, so you don't need to run spacers on it. But like I said, wheels are very much based on your your vibe, what you want your car to look like. You might want it looking OEM, you might want it looking OEM plus, kind of like what I've done with these, sort of like it's a replica of a wheel, slight changes to it just to make it slightly different, and then obviously specs completely different to how I wanted it. So you can do all this to your car, but I think that is a crucial mod to kind of make a car different and your own. So this is going to be the last mod, and this is very much I think it's a rare case that someone changes this thing on the car, but personally I think it makes a massive difference to the car, and I daily drive my car, so it means a lot when you get used to something and feel it's needed. So back in the interior we go for this one, and it's going to be the seats. So in here I've got the Recaro CS seats, which obviously they're in the Alcantara centers with the leather sides, and I've paint matched these parts to the red. They were black before and they probably will go black again, but the reason I think these are a phenomenal mod is just because how comfy they are. I mean, obviously daily driving the car, it has to be comfy. I've had absolutely zero issues with these seats at all. But also if you want to throw the car like round a track or something like that, I mean personally I don't go round a track, but if you're going, you know, fast driving at all and you want to be hugged in the seat, then definitely get these seats, because they're so much better than OEM, and OEM are pretty good. So it's a big statement to say that these are better, but I 100% think that these seats are better overall. And I mean, obviously just look at them. They look phenomenal in the car. You can even see the red pits from outside the car, which always looks cool. It's hard to tell at night, I'm sorry for that, but hopefully the next video will not be filmed at night. But this is going to be a short one, just because obviously it's night. Nobody wants to see something at night. It's not that visually appealing, so I just wanted to get a video out there just to kind of keep up with my schedule of keeping a couple of videos out a week. So here's a video, and hopefully you enjoyed, and there will be more to come because I am waiting on some mods to come for this car, so we'll get back to modifying it, and they will be in the daylight because obviously you want to see what's going on with that. But yeah, obviously that's only a few mods that are on this car, because we do have CS bonnet, we've got carbon grills, we've got different badges on the car, carbon bits on the headlights and everything. So there is still more to do on this car, which I probably will do a video on everything I've done on the car and maybe a general review of the car. But for now, I'm just going to do these, I think it was 5 mods that I think are beneficial to this car and that everyone should at least explore as an option when they're building their car. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.